It's hard to believe, but Kimmi and Maurice Scott, once seen as the most stable couple on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, are no longer together. Kimmi has officially filed for divorce, and the news has left fans in complete shock. This wasn't just a random breakup. This was a slow unraveling that took place right in front of our eyes, though many didn't see it coming. The truth is, the signs were there all along, we just didn't want to believe it. Kimmi and Maurice were introduced on the show as a strong, grounded couple. Viewers admired their maturity, their teamwork, and the way they supported each other. But over time, things began to change. It all became more noticeable when Kimmi was diagnosed with breast cancer. During what should have been the hardest time of her life, she kept showing up with grace, strength, and a deep sense of love for her family. But even with all that strength, you could sense something wasn't right. The emotional support she needed wasn't fully there, and it was beginning to show. As Kimmi went deeper into her healing journey, her social media started to shift. The cute couple photos and family videos faded away. In their place were posts about peace, growth, and self-love. Many fans saw this as her rediscovering herself. But others felt something deeper was happening, like she was preparing herself emotionally to walk away. Her followers noticed she was becoming more vocal about her needs and her healing, but she wasn't saying much about Maurice anymore. On the show, the way Kimmi and Maurice communicated started to change. Their conversations no longer felt warm or loving. They began to feel like two people handling business instead of sharing a life together. Kimmi would speak openly and calmly about how she felt, telling Maurice when she was tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally unsupported. But Maurice's response was almost always the same. He didn't respond with emotion or reassurance. Instead, he gave her logical answers, facts, or brushed things off. In one moment, Kimmi calmly asked for more help around the house, both emotionally and physically. Maurice said he understood, but quickly went back to talking about how busy he was and why his work had to come first. It wasn't what he said, it was what he didn't say. There was no comfort, no empathy, no real connection in his response. This pattern continued, and the more Kimmi opened up, the more distant Maurice seemed to become. Even when they went to therapy, viewers noticed Maurice wasn't meeting her halfway. He remained closed off, keeping up a wall that made it hard for any real healing to happen between them. Then came the moment that changed everything. In one of the most emotional episodes, Kimmi opened up and admitted that she didn't feel like a priority in her own marriage. It wasn't said in anger or frustration. It came from a place of sadness, like someone who had tried everything and was finally giving up. She said that even during her cancer treatment, she felt alone. Not just alone physically, but emotionally. She said the emotional intimacy she needed the most during that time just wasn't there. That moment hit fans hard. It was clear that Kimmi wasn't just struggling, she had already emotionally checked out. And not because she didn't love Maurice, but because she was tired of asking for something he just couldn't, or wouldn't, give her. People began to see the truth behind the quiet strength Kimmi had been showing all along. She wasn't just surviving, she was preparing to take her life back. Around the same time, off-camera drama started to stir things up even more. Rumors began to spread online about Maurice's behavior when the cameras weren't rolling. Fans reported seeing him out late at lounges in Atlanta, looking a little too comfortable with women who weren't Kimmi. There was no solid proof at first, but the timing was suspicious. These rumors matched up exactly with the period when Kimmi began pulling back publicly. When her post shifted, when the distance between her and Maurice became too obvious to ignore, but through all of this, Kimmi stayed silent. She didn't post any statements or clap back at the gossip. She just kept moving in silence, which said more than words ever could. As one fan said, she knew. She just didn't have proof. That line stuck with a lot of people. It felt like Kimmi had already accepted the truth and was quietly preparing for her next chapter, whether Maurice realized it or not. When Kimmi finally filed for divorce, Maurice was said to be completely shocked. According to people close to them, he didn't see it coming. Even with all the signs, he believed they were just going through a tough season. He thought they could work it out, until it was too late. Sources say he broke down, started calling her, texting her, even showing up at her door trying to get her back. For the first time, he was emotional, raw, and scared. But by then, Kimmi had already made up her mind. Maurice even planned a private dinner for the two of them. During the dinner, he handed her a handwritten letter. In it, he apologized for not listening, for making her feel unseen, and for not being the husband she needed. He told her he was finally ready to go to therapy. He said all the things she had been asking to hear for years. But Kimmi's reply was calm and final. She said, "I love you, but I have to love myself more." That line hit people hard because it was the kind of truth that doesn't come from anger, it comes from growth, from peace, and from finally choosing yourself after giving so much to someone else. Then things got even more complicated. A woman who called herself T came forward online and claimed she had an emotional relationship with Maurice during one of the rough patches in his marriage. She shared screenshots, old DMs, and even a blurry photo of her and Maurice at a lounge. The photo wasn't clear, but the timing and body language raised questions. T said Maurice never told her he was married. He said he was figuring things out and emotionally unavailable, but he still pursued a connection with her. It wasn't about whether or not there was a physical affair, the emotional betrayal was enough to break the internet. People were furious. One comment said, "This man was out entertaining strangers while his wife was fighting for her life. He doesn't deserve her." Another said, "Kimmi was carrying the weight of the world and still trying to save that marriage." It felt like the final straw. Maurice quickly denied the claims, saying he had never disrespected his wife. But shortly after posting that message to his Instagram stories, he deleted it, only adding to the suspicion, and while the internet kept buzzing, Kimmi didn't say a word. But her actions spoke volumes. She unfollowed Maurice on Instagram. Then she deleted every photo of them together. After that, she went completely silent, no more posts, no stories, nothing. It wasn't just a breakup. It felt like a woman closing a chapter and refusing to let the world watch her pain anymore. At the mediation table for the divorce, insiders say Kimmi stayed calm and focused. She didn't want drama, she wanted boundaries. She requested to keep their shared home, not just for convenience, but because she needed stability while recovering. She also asked for a confidentiality clause to make sure Maurice couldn't talk about their marriage or her health in interviews or on the show. She didn't want their private pain turned into more reality TV drama. The most surprising detail, though, was that Kimmi allegedly asked that Maurice's time on Love and Marriage, Huntsville be reduced, especially in scenes involving her. It wasn't about revenge. It was about peace. She was no longer willing to be a part of the same show that once showed their life together. Maurice didn't push back, because even he understood, it wasn't about hurting him. It was about protecting herself. Now, Kimmi is moving forward, not loudly but intentionally. She's not rushing to post updates or clap back at critics. She's choosing peace. She's focusing on healing. And she's doing it all on her terms. Fans have flooded her pages with support, saying they always knew she was the one holding the relationship together. Others are heartbroken that it had to end this way. Some cast members have publicly supported her, while others have stayed silent, maybe out of respect, maybe to avoid the drama. But one thing is clear, Kimmi didn't just leave a marriage. She chose herself. She walked away from someone who couldn't see her worth and walked back into her own power. Whether Maurice deserves a second chance or not, that's not the real question anymore. The real story is that Kimmi made a choice that so many women struggle to make. She put herself first. She refused to keep pouring into a relationship that wasn't pouring back into her. And for that, many believe she didn't just end a marriage, she began a new life. What do you think? Did Kimmi make the right choice, or should Maurice have been given one more chance to prove himself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.